guys, so this is going to be my in conclusion video of November, and I know I sound a little bit nasally, but I'm kind of sick. I've had a cold for a couple days and I think it's starting to fade away, so try to ignore how I sound. I'm sorry. For you that haven't watched my in conclusion videos before, I basically just show you the book, talk about it a little bit, and give you buy it, borrow it, or don't bother rating. So that's how things work. So the first book is Leviathan, and this is by Scott Westerfeld. And for those of you that don't know this author, he is the author that wrote the Ugly series, which is Uglies, Pretties, Specials, Extras. It's a pretty good dystopian series. It was one of the first YA series that was dystopian that I've read, and I did like it, so. But anyway, this is by the same author as that. It was a little boring for a couple of pages, but it did pick up, and it was in 2 point of views, so that was fun. And so I would give this a borrow it rating because I think that this will only be for kind of history people that like reading the World Wars and like a different kind of take on it and stuff. So definitely borrow it. If you do like all the World War stuff, I think this is definitely worth the money, so give it a try. So one of the other books that I read this month was Aragon by Christopher Poloni. And this is a high fantasy novel, and it is a series. I believe there's 4 books, and I did like it. I've never read this before. I just never really had the time when I was in school when it first came out, so I decided to try it out now, and it was really, really good. If you are really interested in fantasy novels, definitely give this a try. I say borrow it. I really liked it. Definitely going to check out the second one, so there you go. So another book that I read this month was Breadcrumbs by Anne Ursu, and this is a retelling of Han Christensen's Snow Queen, and it's a middle grade novel. It was really nice. If the writing was really beautiful, especially how she did the real world and then she kind of did like the fantasy world. It was really, really cool. She's very descriptive, but not an overwhelming kind of amount of description. The only thing, if I had to pick up one negative about this, is the fact that I have watched and read a lot of like Snow Queen things, so I'm kind of the expert when it comes to Snow Queen, and I felt like this book was a little bit too close to the story. Like, when I read books, I kind of want to do like a little bit of a different take on what it is, but I did still like it. I really loved it. I say borrow this, give it a read, and if you haven't checked out anything like the Snow Queen, the original fairy tale, or any movies, definitely do, because they're kind of cute and I liked watching them when I was younger. So, another book that I read this month was Dead Beautiful, and this was the last book that I've read this month. I just finished it a couple days ago, and I really, really enjoyed it. I wasn't really sure because I mean, the cover's okay, but it's just kind of not original. Anyway, but it was definitely different. I liked it a lot. It was kind of boring sometimes, but again, that's a lot of books that are the first in a series are always like that, so I was very forgiving, and it definitely had an element to mystery to it. And once you found out what was going down, that was pretty cool, and very original idea as far as the storyline goes. So that was cool. I'm definitely going to pick up the second one, which comes out in February, I believe, and that's called Life Eternal. So yeah. Definitely give this a buy. I read this month was Unearthly by Cynthia Hand, and this is an angel book, and I reviewed this and I really liked it, and I stayed true to that. I'm really excited to read the second one, and definitely give this one a buy. I liked it. It was awesome. Great heroine. Perfect. Right on. Another book that I read this month was Wither by Lauren DeStefano, and this is a dystopian novel, and I did like it. It was an original idea. It was kind of uncomfortable at some points because it kind of has like the polygamous marriage and stuff in it, so that was kind of uncomfortable for me to read sometimes. I don't necessarily recommend it to people under the age, a certain age. I would say probably under the age of 13. And I can't wait for the second one, which is Fever, and I believe that comes out in March. Not 100%, don't take my word for this. But I did like it, so I'd definitely say give this a buy. Very fun and original concept, and you guys know how I am with my dystopians. Has to be original. This was my favorite book of the month, and that is Angel Burn by L.A. Weatherly. This book was awesome. I loved it, I loved it, I loved it, I loved it, I loved it. I can't say that enough. Really awesome to read. It's a thick book, but it goes by so quickly, and I was so happy to read this. I can't wait to read it again. I just, really, guys, buy this book. If you're going to look at any of these books that I have this month and decide which one you want to buy, this one. If you haven't read this, go read it. It's awesome. I believe it's already, the second one is already out in the UK. The second one in the US will be released in January. So I'm super excited. Can't wait. Buy it. Appointments of the month. One of them you guys already saw. That was a disappointment, so I'm not really going to go too much into it since we've already seen it. That was The Unbecoming Amara Dyer. I wasn't a big fan of this book. I know a bunch of my friends were, and I also had friends that were not. I didn't like it, so I would say probably don't bother, or borrow it from a library, but don't buy it. I mean, especially if you're going to buy it in a store. It's $17. Don't. I know a lot of people really like this book, but I just wasn't a fan. But I'll probably get the second book from the library just to see. Hopefully some more paranormal aspects do come out in the second book. Please. Alright, and this book, you guys actually haven't seen me in a haul yet, and I apologize. I just really, really wanted to read it. But unfortunately, I didn't like it, which I'm really upset about because I was so excited for this book for so long. And that is Shatter Me. I hate this cover for one. Anyway. So this is Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi. Kind of a heckler when it comes to the writing, and it was so overly descriptive. Like I've got to show you an example. Okay, so this is one of the pages. There's a lot of the strikeout kind of features. Sorry. I didn't really like that because I didn't know if I was supposed to read that or if it kind of made me jump out of the story too much. But there's not enough dialogue in this book until about the last couple hundred, probably the last 100 pages. There was barely any dialogue in this book. And when I'm reading anything, I like a lot of dialogue. I like characters to interact with each other. And also, this is a dystopian, so there was no world building in this book, or there wasn't enough. And with dystopians, you really need to focus on the world and what was wrong, why things are changed, etc., etc. There was none of that. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to read the second one. I'm really upset about that, but it's alright. It's going to be okay. And so I say don't bother. So that was my conclusion video. If you don't agree with me on some of the decisions that I made, that's completely okay. When it comes to dystopians, I'm really a haggler on certain key points, and Unbecoming Amara Dyer, that's kind of a 50-50 in the community. A lot of people like it, a lot of people don't like it, so I was one of those, unfortunately, that did not like it. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great night, and I can't wait to see you guys in December. Oh yeah, it is December. Bye!